So a vector is said to be a unit vector if its magnitude is 1. Okay. A vector is said to be a unit vector if its magnitude is 1. Examples: so let's do question 9 of the tutorial sheet. A. Find a unit vector that points in the same direction as u is equal to 2i plus 2j minus 5k. Solution: a unit vector is a vector whose magnitude is 1. So what you do is, if I'm given a vector, so here I'll say, okay, let V be the required unit vector. So V is going to be the vector U divided by the magnitude of vector U. That's the easiest way of finding that vector. So, meaning we first need to find the magnitude. So what's the magnitude of vector U? It is the square root of 2 squared plus 2 squared plus negative 5 squared, which is equal to 4 plus 4 plus 25. This is equal to 29 plus 4, that is 33, the root of 33 there. So when we come to V, we say V is 2i plus 2j minus 5k over the root of 33, which if we want, we can separate as 2 over root 33 I plus 2j over root 33 minus 5k over root 33. So this is a unit vector. If you try to check if V is a unit vector by getting its magnitude, you will get the square root of 2 over root 33 squared plus 2 over root 33 squared plus negative 5 over root 33 squared. So here we're just verifying. So this is giving us the root of 4 over 33 plus 4 over 33 plus 25 over 33. So we have 4 plus 4 plus 25, that is 33 over 33, which is equal to 1. This is just confirming that indeed this is a unit vector. Okay, then we go to B. B, find a unit vector that points in the opposite direction as the vector V, which is minus 3j minus 11k.
Oh, I think.
So now we are saying opposite direction. So V is facing in the opposite direction of vector negative V. So this is V and this is negative V. So if you're asked to find a vector opposite, well, we just mean get the negative of that vector. Now here we're saying it must be a unit vector. So the solution, I'll let U be the required vector. Then we'll say U is given by negative V over, for it to be unit, over the magnitude of V. Okay, so meaning we first have to find the magnitude of V, which is the square root of minus 3 squared plus minus 11 squared, which is equal to 9 plus 121, which is 130. So the vector U is equal to negative 3j minus 11k over the root of 130. If you multiply throughout by negative, we get 3j over root 130 plus 11k over root 130. Well, the nice one here should be C. C says, find a vector that points in the same direction as P is equal to 2I minus 3J plus K. But that vector should have magnitude of half. So what we do is we first ignore this. We first look for a vector that is, we first look for a unit vector for P. So let V be the required vector. That means that V is going to be, if you're trying it as a formula here now, V is going to be half, okay, multiplied by, you now go to the half multiplied by P over the magnitude of P. Why are we doing this? Because we know that in terms of magnitude, the magnitude of a unit vector is 1. So if you're looking for a vector whose magnitude is half, then just multiply 1 by half. So what do I mean? Well, we first get the unit, we get the magnitude of P, which is 2 squared plus minus 3 squared plus 1 squared, which is going to be the root of 4 plus 9, which is 11 plus 1, 12. And then say we're looking for 1 over 2. 4 plus 9. 4 plus 9 is 13. Plus 1 is 14. So this is 14. So we have 1 over 2. And then P is 2I minus 3J plus K over root 14. This is 2I over 2 root 14 minus 3J over 2 root 14 plus K over 2 root 14. So that if you want, you can simplify 2 over 2 here. You remain with 1 over root 14 minus 3J over 2 root 14 plus K over 2 root 14. Like that.
So that's a question.
Mm-hmm.
The first thing you're writing there, that's the formula.
This.
Yes.
Yes. Responding to the question.
Oh, so if they say the answer looking for runs in the opposite direction, you put a negative.
You just multiply this by negative. provided they also
Oh.
mention that its magnitude is half.
Oh, but they say maybe it's 1/5. We're going to put 1/5 there.
Yes, 1/5 multiplied by that. If they said the magnitude is 7, then you'd say 7 multiplied by this. Why are we doing this? Because we know that the magnitude of this one is 1. So if they say it is 7, then you're multiplying 7 by 1.
Yeah.
If we want, we can check the magnitude of this one. Let's check the magnitude of this, our answer. We see if the magnitude is 1. Let's check. So the magnitude is the square root of 1/√14 squared plus minus 3/√14 squared plus 1/2√14 squared. So here there's a 2 inside, yeah? So what do we get? We get the square root of 1/√14 is simply 1/14 plus 3 squared, 9 over 2 by 14. So 2 squared, it becomes 4 now. 4 by 14. And then plus 1/4 by 14. So what's a common denominator there? 4 by 14. 4 by 14. So that for the first one, a 14 into 4 by 14, we get 4 plus 9 plus 1, which is 14 over 4 by 14. So these 14s will cancel. Remember, this thing is in the root, so it is in the root. It's in the root, giving us the root of 1/4, which is 1/2.
Yeah, sir.
Hello.
4 plus 9 plus 1 divided by 4 by 14 in the square root. I didn't see you properly here. I didn't understand.
Where it's coming from or what it gives you.
How you did it. How you did it.
So we're saying we're getting the magnitude of this one. So getting the magnitude, you square the number. So we're squaring 1/√14 plus we square 3/2√14 plus we square 1/2√14. So now we square this, we get 1/14. We square 3, we get 9. We square 2, we get 4. We square root 14, we get 14. We square 1, we get 1. We square 2, we get 4. We square root 14, we get 14. The common denominator for 14, 4 by 14, 4 by 14 is 4 by 14. And then 14 into 4 by 14 to cancel the 14, so 4 remains. You multiply 4 by this one, that's how you still have the 4.
Okay.
And
Thank
then,
you.
okay, good. So we see that the question is indeed satisfied because the magnitude of the vector that we have found, its magnitude is half, as the question demands.
Sir, the question.
Yes.
This last part, were you trying to prove if what we found previously was correct, or maybe it's part of the solution?
The one that we have rubbed.
This last part that you're just from doing here for question C.
What do you mean the last part? Up to here.
Up to you've wrapped the half.
Yeah, so
Up to
whatever,
half.
so whatever we've wrapped, it was just verifying.
Oh, all right. Thank you.
The solution ends here.
Okay.
Okay, next. We talk about parallel and perpendicular. Perpendicular vectors. So parallel vectors, so we say one vectors u and v are they are parallel if cos theta is equal to this, implies theta is equal to 90 or 180. Or if there is a scalar k such that u is equal to kv. I'll explain an example. Two vectors u and v are perpendicular if cos theta is equal to u. This implies theta. Here I wrote the wrong thing. This should be 0, implies 0 or 180. But if theta is 90, then you say they are perpendicular. Or if the dot product u dot v is equal to 0. So you can see what you're talking about. We go to examples. Question 9D. Determine whether v is equal to I minus 4k and W is equal to 9i plus 3j plus k are parallel vectors. So you have two options. First, we can find the magnitude of solution. Method 1. We can find the magnitude of u, of v, which is the square root of 1 plus -4 squared, giving us 16 plus 1, that is 17. And also for w, which is 9 squared plus 3 squared plus 1 squared. This is 81 plus 9 plus 10 plus 1, which is root 90, like that. And then cos theta is equal to this. This is now implying that cos theta is equal to root 17 multiplied by root 90. But this means that theta
Sir,
is, hello?
excuse me, sir. Sir, is it root 91 or root 90?
91. 91, yeah. 1, 1. So if we have cos theta is equal to the number, which is not a special number, then we say theta is cos inverse of root 17 by root 91. For sure, this is not a special value. So we know it's not giving us 0. It's not giving us 180. So we say, since theta is not equal to 0 or 180, then V and W are not parallel. Method 2. Method 2, you want to check if V is equal to KW. Let's check. V is I minus 4K. So because I've put the K on the left, I'm not going to use the component. So if I don't want to use IJK, I can write my V like this. Then I just pick the coefficients. Is equal to K, and then I write my W9, 3, 1. So if you check, because we don't have the I here, well, it has to be the good one to try. This means that 9 multiplied by K, if I multiply this K by 9, it should give us 0 the other side. But this means that K is equal to 0. But let's see, K should be systematic. It should be one number, giving us all the numbers on the other side. If we say 3K, what have I done? That is I, sorry. So when putting it in component form, I need to put all the components. So for I I have I. What I don't have is j. So for j, I'll put 0. And then I have for k, so I'll put -4. Is equal to, and now I put the constant k, and then I pick 9, 3, 1, the coefficients of the components. And then now I'm saying, so I'll go for the middle one. 3k is equal to 0. It's telling us that k is equal to 0. Well, but 9k is equal to 1. The one for I is telling us that k is equal to 1 over 9. So because of this variation, this is 1 over 9, this is 0. It's implying that that number k is not there. And so vectors v and w are not parallel. Okay, so finish vectors tomorrow. So that we end here. So now you remain thinking, how do you show that it's a perpendicular vector? Because I've already defined. So in your mind is what is the dot product? Okay. But remember, I'm giving you an exercise. You're doing question 7b. And then let me also mention that next week, starting Monday next week, we'll start exam preparations. Monday next week. So we'll be doing, so Monday is for exam preparations. And then Wednesday is for test preparation, because we know we still have the test and the coverage maybe will run from the coverage for quiz 2 up to where we'll be by the time the test is announced. So meaning the exam is starting from sets. So when we say exam preparation, we are backdating from sets coming all the way up to the coverage for quiz 2. When we say test preparations, Wednesdays, we are moving going forward. Exam, we are going back to sets, and then we start coming because we don't have time. It's just next month we have the exam. So if you miss on Monday, you are missing the exam preparations. If you miss on Wednesday, you are missing the test preparation.
So when are we most likely to have the test?
It should be before 10 October. So it will be very soon. So keep those dates. So that for now, we end here and have a good night.